Welcome to the Wandcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Harry Potter series with a prophetic craft brew on the side. I knew I was going to say that. I'm here with my two favorite Hufflepuffs. My name's Aaron, by the way. I forgot to put that in the note. And apparently I'm Ron Burgundy and read exactly what I write.
Only what's on the screen and nothing else.
Aaron, and I am here with my two favorite Hufflepuffs, Nate and Jade.
Hello.
Hello.
On this episode, we're just going to go ahead and study our way into Chapter 16 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Professor Trelawney's Prediction.
That's right. And you already took all the notes, so I don't actually have to study anything. Perfect.
I will let you use my notes.
I was going to say, would you call this a study of that chapter?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I'm down to study.
Yeah, if this was what studying was in high school, I would have done so much better.
We literally do this as a hobby. Like, we
yeah.
can study this.
Can't someone make a curriculum based around Harry Potter? Can't we just do that? Isn't there enough examples of like real world stuff? Why is Gryffindor red? Topic for another discussion.
I just think that when you go to Universal Studios and you're in the Harry Potter world, that the actors that portray all the wizards in there actually do have a deep knowledge of the lore, and you could throw crazy questions at them and they would be able to come up with weird ass answers at the drop of a hat.
That's what you hope, or that's what you think?
That's what I hope, and I hope that I think.
I hope,
want
I think,
all of it.
And I think I hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We went there. I don't think we talked to anybody the whole time we were there.
The dude that did the wand choosing ceremony
That
with
was
the
great.
kids was
That
the
was great.
fucking coolest thing I have ever seen. My kids fully believed that those things were kicking off just for them, and as a grown ass adult, I was just like, this is awesome. Like, that's the most filled with the Harry Potter joy that I've ever been in my life. Like, I get this, I get every being of it. It's the best.
Yep. That's why we spent so much in that store.
Exactly.
I have to imagine your kids were pretty thankful for that.
Yeah.
Speaking of being thankful, we are a little bit thankful.
A little bit.
Well, we're a lot of bit thankful.
A lot of it. We're a lot of it thankful.
Guys, I dropped my wand.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is horrible. But my wand being on the floor will not take away from what Carolus gifted us.
So we have received a new mini computer for the studio here. So I can now run the new mixer and everything off of that, which is going to lead us to be able to do more streams and live episodes and up the amount of general interaction we have with all of you. It's a really fucking awesome thing, and we have Carolus to thank for it. He sent us one all the way from Belgium. And it was surprisingly, we were both very surprised. It only took a few days.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, we kind of worked together on like shipping and, it was a whole thing, but it was a very generous act. And I appreciate it very, very fucking much. This is a very meaningful gift. It was like, it's a thing. And he's like, hey, don't even worry about it. But I'm like, no, this means you believe in the thing, man. Like you're there for it.
I now know what other podcasts I listen to when the hosts are like, seriously, we wouldn't do this without your guys' support, or we couldn't do this without your guys' support. It's like, yeah, I know that now.
Yeah, it like literally, we could not do the things that we are doing without you guys.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was really awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, pal.
Thank you, pal.
And I think we should probably do the thing that Carolus was probably kind of hoping we would do with a new computer, and that's talk about some stuff we all enjoy.
That's right. He's like, you got all the equipment. Make with the chapters now. Go.
I'll do it.
This chapter, finals are here, along with Beaky's appeal. And real quick, midnight start times for an exam should not be real.
That is 100% bullshit. There's no way you're getting me back into school at midnight. I've already left for the day. I've already had my dinner.
Corny Fudge gets talked back to by Ron because bringing the executioner to the appeal seems like a con. Trelawney does some weird shit after Harry's divination exam, but Buckbeak's lost appeal causes the trio to scram
What is this?
to Hagrid's hut to comfort their friend who just wants Buckbeak to be comfortable until the end.
He's rhyming.
Before they leave, Scabbers is found. But our chapter ends with a rather upsetting sound.
Oh my god.
Okay, Dr. Seuss. The fuck?
That was exactly the reaction I was hoping for.
He's a doctor, not the medical kind.
Not a good one.
Not even the other kind.
Hopefully other people out there, at least hopefully one other listener like that too, because I enjoyed writing that, and maybe that's how all of them are going to be moving forward. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes rhyming is hard. I might have to study up more to do more rhymes. And speaking of studying, this is clearly different.
I thought he had another one coming. I'm sorry. I was like waiting for it.
No, this feels different than previous years' end of years, obviously because I believe year 2 exams were canceled because of the Chamber of Secrets being opened.
Yeah.
Year 1, I don't think Harry had to do the exams because he was hurt. But this is the first time, I think, in the books that we are told that the twins are studying. So this is important.
Yeah, the implication being that even the fuck around guys are trying to take this seriously.
Yeah.
I think this is like, look, you can kind of bomb out of a class, but you still need to graduate the year.
Yeah.
Well, and they are taking their OWLs this year.
Yeah, which is a special thing.
Yeah.
There's the newts and the owls.
So OWLs, big deal, because even the fucking twins are reading books.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we know the twins are smart, but, like, they're smart in their own way, not book smart way.
It's one of those, I was going to say intelligence versus...
Was it wisdom?
Wisdom,
Intelligence
yeah.
versus wisdom, yeah.
But, like, they have a skill. It may not be a very practical skill, but they're damn good at what they do. And there's a nuance to that. You got to be intelligent to pull something like that off.
Well, and we know that even if the boys fuck around a bit, they are ambitious in their own way.
Exactly.
So whatever they want to get done in life, they know what they need to get there.
Yeah, if they want to do it, they're probably going to do it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what do they want to do.
Yeah.
They do a whole bunch of extra shit to be able to pull off the pranks they do. So ambitious is definitely something you could use to describe those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're willing to put in the work
Yeah.
just to fuck with you.
With all this studying going on, Hermione has left her schedule out, and we once again, her schedule has exams happening at the exact same time as other exams. Ron says, is there a point in asking how you're going to get to these? And she's just like, nope, there's no point in asking.
Don't fucking worry about it.
Not even going to try to give you guys excuses anymore. I'm just not going to answer.
At what point, if you're Hermione, do you just say to Ron, hey, my schedule this whole year is fucked up. We've been doing this all year, Ron. Yes, my schedule is fucky. Don't worry about it.
You don't think that I have accommodations with my teachers in order to make it to all of these classes? Really? Yeah.
Before it can become too much of an issue, we find out from a letter from Hagrid delivered by Hedwig that Buckbeak's appeal is the 6th. But they're bringing the executioner with them to the appeal.
June 6th. We have jogged forward in time.
Oh, yeah. We've gone quite a bit forward. We are much past the Quidditch finals. One could argue we're an entire month forward that we just kind of skipped real quick. But yeah, June 6th, Bucky's appeal, executioner's coming. That's pretty fucked up.
Now, is this going to be a situation where the executioner is labeled as such? Like, hey, the dude is going to show up with a black hood and a fucking axe and be like, that guy's the executioner. Or is it more like, you know, sometimes they have several people fire rounds and like the old shooting range. I don't remember.
Oh,
shooting
yeah,
gallery
firing
death,
squad.
where it's like everybody shoots. Nobody really knows who killed the guy. Kind of a situation where a guy might be there, but he's just going to be dressed in regular ass clothes. So you don't know that that's the executioner and that he just may be present in the room in case he's got a moral issue with possibly doing the actual killing.
Someone from the Ministry of Magic and an executioner is what is in Hagrid's letter. So somehow Hagrid, from the letter he got from the Ministry, clarified that, yes, an executioner is coming.
So what they're saying then is if he loses the case, they're going to do it right away.
Yeah, well, and why would you bring an executioner if you think you won't need the executioner?
Oh, okay. So I guess I was just under the impression that, if you lose the case and like, okay, we are now going to officially order the killing of the animal. But no, they're like, if you lose, he dies and we're bringing the guy that's going to do the thing.
Couple things about that.
Hit me.
This is Hagrid's home, right? This is also his workplace.
Mm-hmm,
so why in Sam Hill would the appeal for this situation be happening just like impromptuly in his fucking kitchen? That's absolutely not professional in any capacity. Bullshit. Right. Absolute bullshit. Okay?
They don't have like an official place for this sort of business in the wizarding world. Like we know for a fact
There's
they do.
Courtrooms.
Why aren't we going there to do this the way we're supposed to do this?
Right. Also, you have an executioner. Why the fuck? Number one, it's an animal, and I feel like the term executioner definitely elevates the intensity that you feel towards what's happening here.
Yeah.
Like you're executing a person type situation. Like normal pets don't have executioners. They go to a vet or they're euthanized in one way or another. They are not executed. And like as to your point about making a set date, like absolutely asinine that we would be having an appeal that then gets triggered. The sentence gets triggered immediately upon appeal.
Exactly.
On site in your home.
Yeah.
This is my home.
That was the point I was starting to make in the last episode where Buckbeak has now been all of these different places in public around people and has perfectly behaved himself. As far as we know, Malfoy is the only incident that anything has gone wrong with Buckbeak. So, like, he's going to all of these court proceedings and totally behaving himself and showing that he's not really a dangerous animal. All of these precautions are, I don't know. Like, this whole thing is too fast. It's not regulated at all. It's totally biased. Like, we already know pretty much what the outcome is supposed to be. Yeah, hit me.
I was just going to say, it really does just boil back down to the Committee for the Disposal of Dangerous Creatures is firmly in Lucius Malfoy's pockets.
100%. Yeah.
Because that's the only way it makes sense. Because, it doesn't. None of it makes sense. And it's so loosey-goosey with the rules. Unless someone's paying the committee to do stuff for you, them, whatever.
Which is why, even though Malfoy has been kicked out of, the governors of the school, right? That's why people listen to him, because he's still in other places. And hey, okay, I've been officially kicked out of the government. I'm still going to go there, make my piece known.
Yeah, he still has money.
Yeah, and all of my buddies who are probably getting paid from my money when I do shady shit are going to make sure that I'm taken care of. So go ahead and kick me out of the governors. I still get my way.
Okay, so I might not
Buckbeak has to die.
The position anymore, but I still have... It's a really terrible one. I don't know if everyone understood who I was doing.
I wish that would have kept going. That was fantastic.
We can stop. You can keep going.
I don't know. It felt real bad.
I do think that maybe we should discuss cheering charms once again. Because the cheering charms did in fact come up in the charms exam, as Hermione was very worried. Harry apparently overdoes his cheering charm so much that Ron has to be escorted into a different location and they just have to wait an hour. There's no counter charm. Flitwick, I'm assuming, is giving the exam. Can Flitwick not stop Ron from these effects of an overdone cheering charm?
Apparently not.
I think my question of why aren't we just doing cheering charms all the time might have just got answered.
Yeah.
If there is no counter charm, so you can't control something if something goes wrong, maybe we don't use that all the time.
Well, think
But
about
then why the fuck are we teaching it to 13-year-olds?
think about what's happening. Ron
I
right
flip-flopped
now
so hard on
is
that.
currently having an overdose of dopamine.
Yeah.
So he is giddy, probably giggling his little ass off,
Oh,
feels high as shit, and is riding that high, and he feels awesome. You're 100% right. You don't teach this spell to 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
People in charge or you know how we were talking about there's got to be someone you can go to at the school to talk about mental health, not necessarily just a doctor. Like that person is loaded down with these spells, right? So they can be like, I can help you feel better now and then come see me every week, kind of a thing.
So it should be, yeah.
But yeah, giving something like, hey, do you want to make yourself a little high and just kind of not give a fuck for an hour? Giving that ability to almost anybody. I mean, there's potential.
Yeah, it's called weed. You don't have to do a charm.
Yeah, weed, alcohol, really drugs in general.
But I also thought that this kind of speaks to like, hey, you overdid your cheering charm, so you got to push your exam back an hour. That's how Hermione is fit. Like even without all of her extra
Oh, yeah.
whatever else is happening with her.
Oh, yeah. They're clearly flexible with the times.
Exactly. If shit happens, they're allowed to move an hour back, an hour forward, whatever.
We even get another example of that later in this chapter. They
Yeah.
are super flexible with their exam times, apparently. The exam time for Care of Magical Creatures is the only time Hermione, Harry, and Ron get to talk to Hagrid since they got his letter. Because it's, you know, all the security measures are still in place from Black's break-in. And I felt so bad when they're like, oh yeah, Hagrid just had him like, yeah, your flubberworm had to survive. And the way flubberworm survives is if you just don't fuck with them.
Just leave it alone.
The depression in Hagrid is heartbreaking, but also that was the only time they had to talk to him too. So it's like kind of nice that he didn't give them a hard exam.
Yeah.
He's easy A, and you get time to catch up with your friend.
The thing that was interesting to me is that they said that Hagrid had to come over and like whisper to them during, and I was like, wait, but he's the one giving the exam.
Yeah.
So if this is an easy A, and he said that your thing literally has to stay alive, the easiest thing is to leave it alone. Why do you have to? Why can't you just like, we are all literally fucking around in the
Yeah.
Who's gonna complain? Is Malfoy really gonna go up to anybody and be like, that was an improper exam?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it was. So what?
Not
Yeah.
if he passes.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And Malfoy already won. Buckbeak's going to be executed.
Yeah.
Depending on, quote unquote, depending on the appeal.
right.
But yeah, this has been too much exams for me. So I think we're going to take a quick break because we do have to get back into just a little bit more exam talk. But we'll be back right after this. Hey, Nate, what are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking Shiner Hill Country Peach Wheat from Spootzel Brewery.
Spootzel.
I don't know
saying
exactly how
that
to say
right?
it. I think it's Spootzel.
Spootzel?
Look, with my last name, there's an O and an E, and the trick to it is that you pronounce it as oo. So I see that together, and it sounds maybe kind of German, and I just kind of assume, probably wrongly, but to me, that says Spootzel. But it is a peach wheat beer. Hill Country Peach Wheat is brewed with juicy, perfectly ripe peaches from the nearby Texas Hill Country. These peaches, along with a mix of 2 raw and wheat malts, make for a slight, sweet, refreshing ale. Barely filtered, this brew has a golden, hazy color and tastes like it came fresh from the orchard.
Run!
I
Really?
apologize.
It
That
smells.
is red text on pink, and apparently, once you pass 30, you just can't read that anymore.
We just discovered that Nate's got mild color blindness.
Oh no!
It smells real good. I am very excited for this first sip.
Yeah, if it tastes like it smells, so smells like it's right from the orchard. Tastes more like wheat, though.
It tastes like my peach tea. My
Yeah.
peach lemon tea.
That's true.
It's got a nice little peach and then earthy flavor to it. I like it.
It is a wheat ale, so the wheat flavor is to be expected.
Yeah. On 4.5% too. It feels heavier than
Yeah.
4.5%.
I really like the flavor of this. I think I'm going to give this one I'm going to start being more objective about my beer ratings. I think I'm going to give this one a 7.
Oh.
I think it's okay. It's a
That's
7.
subjective.
7.
I was thinking about possibly 6, but I think it does deserve a 7 because it is very delightful. I think it's not an every day drinker. Obviously, I don't think it's a river beer, like you said. It's a little heavier than that. I think I like a little more fruity for my river beers, but it is okay.
7 orchards of wheat is what you're giving it out of 10 orchards of wheat.
I wanted the peaches. I got the wheat. That was the
Yeah.
problem.
You got your rating ready, Jane?
Peaches and wheat.
Yeah, it's probably 6.
6. I think I'm right there at like 6.5, 7.
Yeah,
It's just all right. It's
Yeah.
good. I'll drink it. I'm
I'm
not upset that I have to drink another one of these.
With all due respect, it is fine.
Yeah. Hey, you know
Yeah.
what it is? It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Whenever I think about orchards, I think about that line from Bo Burnham where he's like, I fucked her in an apple orchard and then came inside her. It's funny.
So we're gonna get back to the book. I think right somewhere now. Jesus Christ, do it now. And we're back with just a few more exams. You gotta do all your exams, okay?
Got to put in the work.
I would put my foot down though if I had to take an astronomy exam at midnight and then have history or magic the next morning. It is not said what time morning is.
Yeah,
But you should not have a morning exam after a potentially hour-long.
super late night exam. Well, and the history professor we know is a ghost, right? So he's not worried about getting up early in the morning.
He doesn't have to sleep.
I also wanted to say I am super glad for everybody at the school. It's not a verbal exam because if it were, fuck that. I'll fail the class. I'm not sitting through that.
I just wonder, is astronomy the class typically at night?
They talk about having to stay up till midnight to do homework occasionally, but I think the class is during the day. Because I think it's like star charts, so they can look at the charts during the day.
You can learn about it during the day, but you can't see the stars
Yeah.
until nighttime.
You have to actually go out to do your homework. You have to go. It's not just the exams I have a problem with. If you're assigning astronomy homework, you better be considerate of the students' schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes for the whole class,
Yeah.
not just the exam.
Now, to be fair, I will say they probably have great clarity of the sky
Oh,
because
yeah,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have like
Light
city
pollution.
light
Oh,
pollution around them.
Probably gorgeous.
Yeah. So as long as it's not a cloudy day, you probably have beautiful view of the sky from the astronomy tower. That is probably amazing.
I gotta
to see at
imagine-
night. So, I mean, it might be a little bit worth it to take your exam at midnight. as
Oh
long
yeah,
as
I don't have a
that's fucking
problem
Cool.
with the midnight start time. I have a problem with the morning start time the next day.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
You don't want to end up doing a clopin.
Yeah. No. that
Oh
does suck.
God,
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah. I got to imagine if I had the invisibility cloak available to me, and I realized I got these gorgeous starlit nights, and I'm at a boarding school. I am taking so many girls up to the astronomy tower late at night
Oh, yeah.
under the
Good, because
invisibility
it sounded
cloak.
creepy
Oh,
for
it-
a second there. We're back
I've
on
been
board
chased
with you
so many
now.
girls.
I would try.
My name's Aaron, and I like duct tape.
That's okay. Well,
Or,
in my eyes, it was romantic.
or you take him out to the Quidditch pitch.
Oh, God, yeah. Fly
Little-
around a little bit.
Yeah.
Little fooling around on our
Then
brooms.
hang out underneath the stars.
Okay, anyway, on to the Defense Against the Dark Arts exam. Sounds we have some dissenting opinions here in the studio about the Defense Against the Dark Arts exam, because I think the obstacle course sounds fucking awesome, and that sounds like the coolest exam, and I think Harry kind of agrees. However, I think someone here brought up a decent point. Jade, I think this exam sounds awesome. However, I know you kind of brought up a point when we were getting ready to record that you were thinking of something that maybe might not make the exam awesome.
So, okay, I don't have a problem with the exam itself because
Yeah.
it's practical, applying it in real time, cool, awesome.
Okay.
The idea of doing that, especially when it's just you by yourself, like, great.
Mhm.
The idea that your friends who get done before you get to turn around and fucking watch you do that
Okay.
is my worst goddamn nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay?
Fair point.
I
Like,
can see that. You mean, well, they wouldn't cheer you on, or what
I
would
don't
you
give a
be
shit.
worried about?
I don't give a shit if they're going to cheer me on or not. This is a private, I need to, focus. This is about me. I can do it on my own. I'm going to feel judged, even if it's good or
You
bad.
don't want to feel vulnerable in front of people.
Yeah. If I
Okay.
do fuck it up, it's going to be in front of them. If I don't, they're going to be like, oh, great. And that's wonderful. I appreciate that. But you know what? I would rather just be able to handle it on my own and then process it for a second and be like, hey, you know what? I failed or I got it. And
You know what?
I
I think I understand where you're coming from, because we used to have to climb the rope in gym.
Oh yeah.
Right? But-
yeah.
I was a fat kid. I ain't climbing no fucking rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chubby
Right.
Aaron didn't
Now
get very high
I
on
could
that
do
rope.
much better now in my
Right.
30s
I don't
than I
think I
could
could.
back then. But here's the thing. There's I knew I wasn't getting up to the top of that rope, but you still have to grab on, hang the fuck on, and
Yeah.
for a few moments it's we all know I'm not doing this thing, and it's just fucking embarrassing. It sucks.
And the thing is, it ups your stress level. So even if you at your baseline could do this thing, people are watching. And so if you make one little misstep, something that your brain normally could that's a misstep. I know how to handle this because I have prepared myself for this moment. I know what I'm doing. If somebody else is watching you, especially people that you know that you're trying to impress, you're like,
Who will probably give you shit later?
either give you shit or you want them to be proud of you for some
Oh
reason.
yeah.
When they're there, it's harder to oh, I made a mistake. I could self-correct.
Yeah.
Oh, I made a mistake. That's the end of the oh fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. They saw that mistake, even if they didn't. Your brain goes into hyperdrive. I don't know.
Well, yeah. If no one watches you and you mess up, and then you talk to your friends after, hey, how'd the exam go? Fine.
Yeah.
Because there's no mention of Lupin let Harry stay and watch Ron and Hermione. It just says Harry hung around to watch.
He just
Yeah.
did, yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. I am slightly less enthused about the exam. But yeah, I mean, I think just the practicality of it still probably would have been my favorite exam so far.
That's all. I'm honest, not to my own. I'm good at tests, but the idea of somebody watching me take one
Oh, yeah.
makes it immediately worse.
We get Corny Fudge makes an appearance because he is there for Buckbeak's trial in Ride or Motherfucking Die Ron. They start having a conversation about Buckbeak, and he just starts going after Fudge a little bit here. And Hermione has to elbow him and afterwards be like, dude, that's your dad's boss. You can't talk lip to your dad's boss.
Yes, the fuck I can.
Yeah, exactly. Rod is just like, can and will.
You're killing
Can and
my
will.
friend's pet. Fuck you.
Yeah. Ron doesn't
You know
give
what?
a fuck.
Fuck your boss too.
Yeah, and Hermione of all people, this is logic here, Hermione.
Mm-hmm.
What are they gonna do? They gonna bitch at my dad because I bitched at this guy? I don't care. Even if they do, I don't care.
I think it's a cool thing because, like I had pointed out before, sometimes it can be appropriate to punch somebody in the face, but also just scaling that back a little bit, right? sometimes it is appropriate to step out of line. Sometimes it is appropriate to chew out the guy who is important and in charge. He's not protected because of his status. That means he's responsible for more things. That's the guy who needs to get chewed out so that he makes sure his shit is working properly. And if he's corrupt, well, then fuck him anyways. But like, I don't know. Ron is showing to us and to his friends that he is willing to step out of line for his friends. Like, this third year is okay. We've known each other for a while, but now we're making a commitment as people, right? You are my people. So at this point, I will step out of line and like show you guys that I am a ride or die friend, regardless to what that means.
Ron, I think, really shines in this book, even though he gets kind of overshadowed a lot, because I think that this also shows like he wasn't able to, maybe not wasn't able, but he didn't help Hagrid because of his anger at Hermione and his distraction, and he has a thirst for justice, but also he's upset because of the fact that all of his work that he did is for naught, when he could have put that work in ahead of time and it might have helped, but now it's not going to.
Oh yeah. There's probably some guilt for sure.
It's like a guilt that like I wasn't able to help and this has nothing to do with Hermione or Harry.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting layer to Ron being like, Hagrid's not even here and I'm feeling guilty about that and I need to fucking fix this.
I agree with you completely. I just also think that there is a part of Ron that is getting upset because he did do all this work. And if it was for no reason, he could have not done that work.
Yeah.
He could have been chilling in the common room these last couple weeknights, and instead he was pouring through books.
Yeah.
And if you're telling me that wasn't necessary, I'm a little pissed off. Up next, we have the divination exam. And I like what Harry did here, where they're doing crystal ball reading, which is apparently the only thing they had to do in this exam.
During the exam, she's like, I doubt very much that anybody's going to see it. Maybe, you will, but I doubt it. It's like, then that kind of a thing shouldn't be on the exam. It's a bad test.
Yeah, Harry doesn't see shit. So he just makes up that he sees Buckbeak healthy and not executed in his crystal ball.
This is one of those exams that it doesn't matter if you made the ball do something.
Mm-hmm.
It matters if you tried to make the ball do something.
I noticed you're doing air quotes there, Jade. What's all that about?
I think if you go in there and you go, the ball's not doing anything, I don't know.
If you
I don't know
just...
what to fucking tell you.
Yeah.
You just get a 0?
Yeah. But if you go in there and you go, I'm okay. It's really, really foggy. This is really, really okay. I think something's coming to me. And she'll be like, yeah, okay. Like, here's the thing. We don't know exactly the scope of her ability, right? But there's a good chance that there's an amount of charlatanness to what she does, okay? So I think that part of the exam may be how well you're selling the fact that you're trying.
I think you selling it to her is definitely going to weigh in on the grade you get at the end of the year. But I also think that this is a skill that Trelawney, if she's legit, right? She's an actual seer at a fucking magic school. So I'm going to give her a little bit of credit. She is telling everybody that she's examining on this, that it is a very difficult thing to do and not many people actually can do it. So I think she is expecting a large amount of failure. So I think that what it really comes down to is if you do see something, you got this, you pass. Doesn't matter if you see it shittily or if it's not great. I think if you get anything at all, you obviously have tried to apply the things that she's taught you and something worked. So there you go. You're good. I want to at least see you try. I'll acknowledge you can't do the skill, but if you at least attempt to, and take it somewhat seriously, you'll be all right.
I do wish we heard what their like actual. I think later on we just find out like pass fail basically, but I got to imagine they get like graded somehow.
I'd like to see some sort of meritocracy at all.
Ron does say that he couldn't see a thing, so he just made some stuff up. Don't think she was convinced though. So like Ron, that's where it's like, okay, Ron gets whatever the minimum passing grade is probably. Lavender Brown. She probably got an A.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know.
Even if she didn't see anything, she probably did well because she treated it like, as far as Trelawney is concerned, she's treating the subject with respect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, clearly the important thing here is the exam is done. She tells Harry he can leave. And then Trelawney does some weird shit. And Harry even mentions that he thinks he heard Trelawney say a prophecy. When he confronts Trelawney about this, because she kind of zones out and then zones back in, hey, you just said this. I think you made a prediction. And she goes, I would never predict something so far-fetched.
So
how do you control what you prophesize? You either prophesize or you don't. I don't think you get a say in what you prophesize.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way it works, lady.
I wouldn't think so.
Well, that's the whole. Okay, my guess. There's two theories here. One is she's a seer. She knew this was coming, right? And she's just trying to be dramatic. Or two, she's not a real fucking seer. She is bullshitting her way through this, and she is just like touch and go. What's it called? Touch and go prophecy, where they're just like, if it serves me right now, then this is what the prophecy says. If she's making it up, then she could just say, oh no, that one wasn't me, or it was,
right.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And she's just pretending, and it doesn't work. Or she's legit, and I mean, she doesn't understand her skill then.
Well, I think that's what it is. I mean, yeah, she goes into a trance and then comes back out of it and doesn't remember giving the prophecy.
Yeah,
so
which I can understand that being a part of it.
Yeah.
But she should be used to that then.
If she does it on the regular.
I was to say, I think that's a hint to how often she may or may not think she gives prophecy.
That's true. So it's like a lost time scenario.
I think a lot of this, we're going to talk about it much later in this book and in the series. Again, spoiler alert, Trelawney's in some future books. This is one of those things where...
it.
Yeah, I predict she will be. JK clearly did some world building here. She made notes, and they get referenced much later on down the road. And I like it on the reread. This is a lot of stuff I didn't pick up on as a kid, because one, why would I? But now as an adult, knowing the things I know, God, this stuff is fascinating. But I think it's time for us to take another quick little break. So we're going to maybe make some predictions off air. And then if they come true, we'll say we made them on air and edit it back in and no one will know. But it's going to take some time to do that. So we are going to take a break and we'll be back right after this. And we're back. And we had a revelation over break. We started talking about this prophecy, but we didn't say what the prophecy was. And I think that's kind of important. So, the prophecy is, it will happen tonight. The Dark Lord lies alone and friendless, abandoned by his followers. His servant has been chained these 12 years. Tonight before midnight, the servant will break free and set out to join his master. The Dark Lord will rise again with his servant's aid, greater and more terrible than before. Tonight, before midnight, the servant will set out to rejoin his master. Jade, you brought up a good point that we need to really drive home here. Harry needs to go tell someone that this just happened. This is not something that you get distracted by your friends telling you something. You go, no, mine's more important.
Yeah, I feel like I know that Buckbeak's appeal has a time limit on it, but this also has a pressing time limit. She said prior to midnight. So, and Voldemort's a big deal, I think. So, any teacher, catch any teacher other than her on the way, because she seemed to not care that she just said that, and just pass along the knowledge to somebody other than yourself, as opposed to just being like, hey guys, our private personal matters are super important right now, and that's what we should be dealing with. Even Hagrid. Even tell Hagrid when you get down there, even though he's priorly occupied.
We know that the appeal is at 2 p.m. that day. That is information we are told. We know that the execution is at sunset. We know that it is June. Sunset is hours away. We have enough time to go find a teacher and then also go sneak to Hagrid's under the invisibility cloak. You have the time. There is a lot of time lost here because, yeah, we know that Harry and Ron were stuck in divination. They apparently were the last two people in line, potentially. And Hermione had a Muggle Studies exam, I believe, because she dropped divination, so didn't have to go to that. You look like you've just found something.
Yeah, so I just looked up sunset time in June in Scotland. This says that in Scotland, the sun sets at 8:50 p.m. in June, which, I mean, Scotland is much like Michigan as far as latitude, I believe. They're a little further north than us, but it works close the same here. Sometimes it doesn't get, and like Michigan, it doesn't get fully dark until around 11 p.m.
That's the sunset. Now, even if it's at the beginning of sunset.
Yeah, about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's later than, whatever. Like, we have time.
Yeah, in winter, it's dark by 5.
They go back. They get the letter.
Yep.
Hermione decides to go be a sneaky little person and go get the invisibility cloak, which is super duper cool, right? She's like, fuck it. Nobody's going to question me. I'll go do it. Awesome. Great. Harry and Ron are just chilling all of this time. They're just hanging out. Then they go to dinner before going to Hagrid's. There's a lot of teachers at dinner and no mention of it to anybody. Harry's just like, that was a weird thing that happened today. She's untrustworthy, so it doesn't matter. She's crazy. Excuse me?
There's so much wrong here. Now, you get it. The distraction of Buckbeak being executed. You want to be there for your friend Hagrid, but we had time to do more than one thing here. Then again, the book's more exciting this way. So
it's just like when you're an adult and you're like, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm so busy. And then you just go home and play video games.
I do like one of the things you brought up about Hermione going to get the invisibility cloak, because she has a bit of a ride or die moment. She, ride or die Hermione pops up. And to what you were saying in an earlier episode, Nate, Ron makes a comment here. He's like, wow, you are slapping people, yelling at teachers, and running to get invisibility cloaks. What's with you, Hermione? I like it.
What's going on with you? You're popping off a lot more lately, and I see you, Hermione.
Yeah. Harry, unobservant Harry even notices. Hermione looks flattered.
This is purely born of a theory that Jade had, and the more we talk about it, the more I'm convinced that she's right. This is Ron seeing Hermione for the first time, really.
And he doesn't fully get there yet, right? We still have a couple more years, but this is the first moment where he's like, wow, I have a cool friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
My friend Hermione, who is a girl, is very cool. Wow.
Yeah, we're just not worried about the girl part yet.
I just can't get over it. Like, Harry doesn't go talk to Dumbledore. Of all the fucking people,
Lupin.
Dumbledore's probably maybe Lupin, right? But listen, he got information that Voldemort's servant will be coming back prior to midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Harry knows about the Sirius stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that Sirius has come into the building a couple different times.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these different things that Dumbledore, of all people, should know.
Mm-hmm.
And just be aware of. And maybe he would pass it along to Lupin, who has a Marauders map conveniently right now and can keep an eye on the grounds.
That's a great point. Good
point. But no.
Yeah.
Harry just eats his fucking trifle pudding and goes about his fucking night. Like it's no big fucking deal that Voldemort's servant's coming back.
Yeah, that's true. It was more the just the act of Trelawney giving a prophecy, I think was like, go tell someone that happened. No, it's the contents of the prophecy.
Yeah.
Go tell someone that Voldemort's servant is returning and then is going to help Voldemort return.
And we have like 4 hours.
Yeah, we
until
can do
something
that
happens.
instead of dinner. Or
Yeah.
just tell Dumbledore at dinner, hey, need to talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, maybe he's tied up with the Ministry folk at the time.
And listen, maybe
But Lupin's not, McGonagall's not.
McGonagall's not, and maybe they can't do anything, but at least,
tell
if
someone.
you know something's coming, you can keep a better eye for weird shit happening, right?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. They always say that during murders, like, oh man, I didn't think this little tiny bit of information was going to prevent that. But then it's always after the fact when they're like, oh, fuck yeah. If only you would have said this.
Yeah.
Blank. Like, yes, take that opportunity. Even if you're going to get up. Look, even if you're going to get up to the fuckery that Ron's dad called you out on at the beginning of the book. Even if you are going to do all that, still tell the adults so you'll have some backup. At the very least, there can be, plan B, plan C, plan D if everything else fucks up.
Yeah, if you're not going to do something, I did, but at least I told you first.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you cover your ass as much as you can.
CYA all the time.
Right.
Or here's the other thing that I was thinking earlier about this whole fuckery with the Ministry of Magic. Hermione, of all goddamn people right now, should be documenting everything. Documenting every fucking thing that's going on between the Ministry of Magic and this Buckbeak trial, all the bullshit with Hogwarts, all of it. So that someday, because we are in 1994 now,
Yeah?
she can get a real good lawyer.
There's got to be magic lawyers.
There has to be.
There has to be.
I'm just saying, she needs to document something so she can be like, look, this was fucked up. Look at all the shit that happened. I'm not happy about it. I need a settlement.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to be talking to the press.
Hermione Granger is suburban commando. Like, let me guess, you're going to use your wand and explode my head? She's like, are you kidding? It's 1994. I'm going to sue you.
Hold on real quick. Can you imagine adult Hermione moving in? I don't think, I don't know if the UK has, party foul. My phone just went off. I don't know if the UK has homeowners associations or something equivalent to it.
Positive they do.
But can you imagine, like, Hermione buying a house, moving into this place, having Karen knock on the door, start talking about homeowners association? Hermione is just like, I would like to see that contract, actually.
Yeah, 100%.
I would love to read the words on that paper.
Matter of fact, when does the committee meet? Okay, I will be there for that.
Yeah.
When are the elections? I will also
I'm
be
saying.
running for that.
That's what I'm saying. I can't believe that Hermione wasn't like, oh, this is a sanctioned appeal here in Hagrid's hut. This was a sanctioned and notarized bullshit here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna follow up with that to your higher ups.
We do make our way down to Hagrid's hut, and one of the more, and again, I don't remember this as a kid, but as an adult, hearing that Hagrid is not crying and is just kind of wandering aimlessly around his hut, Jesus Christ, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I have seen that. That I have experienced that. That makes me feel sad. Don't like it. Especially to someone as nice as Hagrid.
But he's like, you guys want some fucking tea?
Yeah. Yeah. Dropping his whatever vases, milk containers, whatever stuff going everywhere, kettles. Yeah.
Hagrid is actively going through the 5 stages of grief.
100%.
He's just past the, it's what? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Yeah, I feel like he's at depression, maybe transitioning into acceptance.
Yeah, it's where like you're you're just numb at this point. Like, okay, this is the new going forward, and
I'm giving him fresh air.
Yeah.
Because I realized I can't stop it. Got to make those last moments nice.
He's past shock, okay?
Oh, yeah,
but it's still a very fragile state of existence for that man. So I would treat Hagrid very, very carefully.
It is so fucked up, though, right? Like, okay, a lot of us, maybe not everyone, has had to put a pet down, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Heart-wrenching bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It is the worst thing ever. And this is similar, except prior to, he's going to have to argue minimally with some people who are just going to flat out then tell him, no, we're killing your pet. And then they're going to kill his pet in a somewhat brutal way outside in his garden where he spends a lot of his fucking time.
And he has to use later.
Yeah. And are they going to dispose of him? Who fucking knows?
I mean, they are the committee for the disposal. So
I never got to finish a thought that I had much earlier in this episode to that point exactly. While Buckbeak has been traveling around and going to all of these different trials and hearings and stuff, he hasn't, hurt anybody. He should not be getting an execution style death at fucking all. Even if the executioner is there, I feel like it should be much closer to a euthanasia type situation.
Yeah, why can't we do it
where
magically?
He's not a fucking criminal, okay?
Yeah.
He did something arguably a little bit aggressive, but even the worst people on earth, when we put them to death in this country, it's argued among many people what's the most humane way to do that, because killing somebody in a brutal or painful fashion is just wrong, even if you're doing it for good reason. So, like, this should never, you 100%, this is all fucked. This should not be the way that it's putting a pet down.
Yeah.
God damn it. It's not a fucking execution. Okay. I took a little time to consider what it's going to feel like from Hagrid's point of view if somebody was going to do that to, say, my dog.
Yeah.
The amount of rage that I felt was immediate. Like, okay, I can't take any more time to think about this because I will commit murder.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
100%.
When there's there's medications and things that help them stay calm. It's all cool.
Yeah.
This is it's gonna get a little graphic. I'm not trying to upset. This is laying an animal's head down that doesn't understand what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
Down on a surface, and that being terrified and trying to get away until you slice and end their life.
Yep.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the worst thing that they could do, especially if the thought of my dog being laid out like that, I mean, like, where's my mom? What's going on? Why are we doing this? What's happening? No.
Well, and hey, could we just get mention maybe of, like, by the way, hippogriffs, super fucking resistant to potions and charms. So no, this is how we have to do this.
No, they're just doing it brutally.
Yeah, this is a very, like, we're stuck in the old-fashioned ways because we have magic. We don't need to modernize, and we still use executioners.
I just had the thought that maybe Hagrid does have some secret knowledge about hippogriffs, like, and their steel is platinum fucking hard. So go ahead, try and cut his head off, motherfuckers.
This also lends to the mentality potentially of wizards and the uses of animals in, fucking potions and things like that. We have toads and rats as acceptable, maybe not toads, but rats for sure as acceptable things there, probably because of the way we can experiment on them within magical use. Like, so it's...
You can practice transfiguration on your pet.
Yes, which I feel like is not I don't think that they have animal rights as
for
well
sure not.
in the wizarding community.
Now, we have a few more things that I do want to dive deep into. So we're going to take one last quick little break, and then we will be right back with the end of this chapter, our final thoughts, and I'm sure nothing will go wrong. And we'll be back right after this. And we're back.
Hi.
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 How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
We're okay.
How's the listener? I hope the listener's good too.
We get mention of Hagrid saying that Dumbledore did everything he possibly could. Except what, Jade?
Well, he didn't go to the trial.
Nope.
Dumbledore, I'm upset because Hagrid is notoriously not super great at knowing what he should and shouldn't say. And he is left out there by himself, by his employer and his good friend, apparently, Dumbledore, who is great at public speaking and has connections. And even if Dumbledore himself couldn't be there, you can't tell me that he couldn't find somebody to fucking stand in his stead. This is a fucking court case. We can't hire somebody to fucking stand up there with Hagrid. But honestly, Dumbledore himself should have been there with Hagrid, standing by his side, because honestly, him not being there shows that he didn't really believe in Hagrid's side. You're his employer. You're the person who said he could go and do this stuff.
From a court
You're
perspective, yeah, why wouldn't you think that?
You're the one that wrote the courts, apparently, and said that Hagrid should not be punished for this. So why
Hagrid shouldn't be punished, yeah.
Why the fuck aren't you there helping him defend his pet at trial? Oh, because you don't believe it? Then maybe you should, Don't like it. Don't like it at all.
It looks like you may not actually have the automatic free right to representation in a court. I don't know exactly how the UK system works, but it sounds like you yourself are under trial and are expected to defend yourself.
Oh,
and if you can get a lawyer, then you can. But again, this is a very quick and cursory search. It could be very different, and there could be different systems within the wizarding world that it's not like the real world at all.
So,
good point.
Dumbledore stood up for Hagrid and got Hagrid protected, right? This is just Hagrid and his pet, or one of his animals that he used in the course of a class that he's trying to protect, right?
100%.
But that's the thing. He used it in the course of a class that Dumbledore approved, first of all. Second of all, that's his friend, right? And Dumbledore knows Hagrid's capabilities. So just the fact that even if he doesn't really think that this is a good trial or it has legs to stand on, he should have given Hagrid somebody.
Well, it would be Hagrid. It would be Dumbledore, because Dumbledore was in charge of the school at the place where the kid got hurt, right? In real world, you would have the fucking superintendent of the whole district there, because it's a fucking court thing. Like, everybody in charge, the whole stack above this kid who got hurt would be there in court to represent the decisions of the school as a whole.
Well, have somebody too by Hagrid to say, you know what, Hagrid, we should call in character witnesses for your hippogriff.
That's all I'm saying. Like, Hagrid, a guy who we've noted notoriously bad at keeping things to himself. Like, this guy isn't going to defend himself properly. This is terrible. Of course, he had Hermione and stuff, helping him, but like, he's the guy up in court with all of his papers and like trying to make legal sense to a judge about his position. Like, this is not going to be something Hagrid is well capable of.
I know that Dumbledore does go to court for people related to him.
Yeah.
Just saying that. But the appeal was done on Hogwarts grounds.
Mm-hmm.
And they came into the castle beforehand. So Dumbledore had to have some hand in approving the process of that appeal being done there at Hagrid's house. So, no, he didn't do everything that he fucking could, because you know what he could have said? Absolutely not. I am filing an injunction to stop this appeal from happening on the grounds of Hogwarts, where students will be looking out of my windows and seeing this terrible thing happen, this tragedy.
Wow.
Of this animal being murdered, massacred all over the pumpkins of the fucking groundskeeper. Absolutely not. I will not allow that. We will be doing this in a court of law.
Get him.
And if you will not allow that, then I will be going above you and filing my own lawsuit.
Get him!
You bitches.
Fuck yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I am so in love with you right now.
That's all I'm saying. Dumbledore didn't do all he could.
I only have one follow-up.
TLDR.
May I ask one follow-up? How do you really feel? I feel like you were holding back. Jade?
Minorly. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, I think we will, because I think with some stuff that comes up, I think there is an absolutely fascinating discussion to be had about whether or not Dumbledore did everything he could to help out here. However,
To help out in general, in his whole fucking life, maybe? I don't know.
oh no, very specifically Buckbeak's trial. You were talking, I had a theory, and I can't say it yet, but we can't get into it because two things. One, that would be a spoiler. And two, Scabbers is alive. Hermione finds Scabbers in Hagrid's cabin. He's alive and maybe not well because he looks rather sickly and thin. And
Based on the drawing at the beginning of this chapter,
yeah, it's a great drawing.
that is a shitty looking rat. I just gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've seen a very, very sick rat.
Yeah, that is a real rough look.
That is a bad looking rat. Even when very sick, the rat that we had that passed away
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
had some girth to him.
Yeah.
Not like that.
No, Scabbers is described as very thin.
Wait, can I
and-
see that picture one more time? I want to look
well-
for one specific thing.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah. It
okay.
doesn't show
Okay.
too much detail
Okay.
on that. But even the celebration for finding Scabbers has to be cut short. So many things are getting cut short right now, but that's because the Ministry people are on their way to Hagrid's cabin for the execution.
Yeah, it does kind of. I mean, it kills the vibe, right? It is something to celebrate. But like, wait.
That's
hang
one
on.
way to put it.
Yeah. But wait, why was Scabbers in Hagrid's hut?
Dude, you know why Scabbers is in Hagrid's
Doesn't
hut.
say.
There's food. He ain't clean. Hagrid's not a clean
He
person.
ran
There's
away
crumbs.
from the castle. That's
There's
all
a
we know.
dog. There's a dog in Hagrid's hut.
Hang on. I'm confused because exactly.
Yeah.
If I am a small creature and I am afraid of a larger creature that keeps trying to fucking kill me, actually, you know what? No, I take it back because I've seen cartoons.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
What does the mouse do when the cat won't quit fucking with it?
He gets the dog.
He gets the dog.
Jerry goes and finds the dog.
You know what? Answer fucking, right there. Yeah. It's obvious now.
Yeah.
This makes perfect sense.
And the thinliness of him doesn't make sense because I have to imagine Beaky's inside. Beaky's going to go to sleep. You could probably get some crumbs and whatever from whatever Beaky's getting fed while he's in Hagrid's hut. Also, don't think Hagrid's doing a full wipe down every night.
I got to imagine if Hagrid was aware that there was a pet rat in his, or look, a rat in general in his hut, he's probably going to feed it.
No, here's the thing.
He would. Well, no.
Buckbeak
he would
eats-
probably grab the rat and throw it to Buckbeak.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, you're right.
Buckbeak eats ferrets.
Yeah.
Close
yeah.
enough.
This is a plot hole. Buckbeak eats ferrets.
Wait,
There
does
is
it specifically
rodents
mention that
in general.
Buckbeak eats ferrets?
Hagrid has a rack of ferrets at some point that he's feeding him. I don't know if that's in the book or if that's just a movie thing that I'm remembering, but I've seen it multiple times. So here's the thing. If he eats rodents of some kind, there's no goddamn way he's in that hut and not smelling a rat and fucking getting that rat.
Not going
Just
up
not
the wall
leaving-
trying to fucking
Right,
find
I have
it.
a cat. Okay, I know that this is not the same thing, but you have a predatory animal that can smell a prey animal in the house? Absolutely not. He's not leaving it the fuck alone.
Yeah,
I
that
can
would
see-
be
yeah, I can see
absolute
that.
madness in his fucking cabin.
But if he's like opposite, if Scabbers for some reason maybe happens to be smarter than the average rat, maybe it knows to stay on the complete opposite end of the cabin.
I don't know.
Maybe that's all.
I also think it's funny that the trio put on their whole ass invisibility cloak and went down there because despite Hagrid being like, I don't wait to see this.
Yeah.
And then they're there for a couple minutes just to be like, hey man, it's all good. And then they're like, oh, they're coming. Peace out. Yeah, I don't really want you to see this. And they leave. You're an invisibility cloak. What was the whole point of coming down? Like, I get, like, the moral support or whatever, but if you're not going to stick around for the whole thing, I know it's graphic, but Hagrid doesn't even watch it. No, we ain't leaving. We're tucking up in this corner over here, and you're going to keep those fuckers in the other end of your cabin. We came all the way down here. I am listening to what happens here.
I'm very surprised Harry was not like, yeah, Hagrid, we're going to leave. And then as soon as they get under the invisibility cloak, he turns to the other two and goes, we're not leaving.
100%. Right. Like, you know
Bye,
what, Hagrid?
Hagrid.
Because there's a balance here. On one side, maybe Hagrid as an adult doesn't want you to see it because you're kids and it's going to be gross. Maybe Hagrid doesn't want you to watch his pet be murdered because A, he feels like it's his failure. B, it is his pet for damn sure. And C, he's going to cry like he has never cried in his entire life.
His mind.
He is going to sob. Look, sometimes it's okay to just cry, right? It's always okay to just cry.
Yeah.
But also, there is a thing called ugly crying.
It's true.
And sometimes you don't want to ugly cry. You want to let it out, but you don't want to go full sob because that's your private private cry, right?
Yeah.
So Hagrid is like, I don't want you there because I am going to full on do that the second it happens. I know this. I'm okay with it. I don't want you to see me that way.
Hagrid, did you not want us to see Buckbeak get executed? No, I don't actually care about that. Animals die. I am very much pro survival of the fittest. Predators kill prey. No, I don't want you to see me cry.
It's gonna be bad.
Here's the thing. Hagrid holds it together way back. Like, fuck all of that. Fuck seeing the pet, whatever. The way that I would be treating these other two human, like...
Oh, yeah.
The ministry official and the executioner who come into my fucking house.
Yeah.
And
we wouldn't be having tea.
Do a faux fucking appeal.
Yeah.
And then, go outside to execute my pet. You think that we're having a nice little tea while we have this fake fucking appeal? Absolutely goddamn not. I am taking every little bullshit jab at those motherfuckers I can.
Yeah.
And
and Hagrid ain't subtle.
Honestly, it's you look at me the wrong way, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to restrain myself from grabbing my goddamn umbrella in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
You better keep your fucking mouth closed and not even look at me. You look at the ground the whole time you're in my fucking place, and don't you look smug. Don't you? Your job is your job? Terrible. You should not have a job. If you're here and you think that you are respectable in what you do and you're going to come in here and murder my pet?
No, Hagrid is Sam Jackson from Pulp Fiction all day long.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to? I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Staring into his soul while he finishes this Sprite.
Absolutely.
Test me. I dare you.
Look, the trio does leave under the invisibility cloak. Scabbers is absolutely acting a fool trying to escape. And they don't quite get too far away because they do end up hearing an axe thud make contact with something. And
tough.
Yeah, that's pretty traumatic for 13/14-year-olds, however old they are now. That's not great.
And then they just heard Hagrid sob.
Yeah, because let's be honest, sometimes hearing is worse than seeing.
Oh, 100%. You imagine it to be way worse than it might actually be.
Now, I do believe that this would be an absolutely traumatic sight as well. But yeah, like if it's gonna happen, you might as well stay and watch. If you're gonna hear it, you might as well stay and watch so your mind doesn't go places.
You are too close
at 2 in the morning.
It's going to fucking haunt you forever now.
And also, how much would it bother those old people if you guys just stood on top of the hill? Just 3 13-year-olds just staring at them with no expression while
What'd
they
you
murdered
just do?
something?
Oh, yeah? You came prepared to do this?
At a
Are you
school?
prepared to do this in front of children, you fucking monster?
Hey, we do find out that McNair, the executioner, is friends with Malfoy, so he would probably just look at them and go, Yep.
Yeah, probably.
And then would also maintain eye contact with them while he swings the
probably.
axe.
Creepy.
I don't know. What do you think about that, Mr. Gold? Well, I think it's fine. Mr. Gold says we're good. Let's kill this motherfucker.
Well, I'm glad you were able to spin that because I was trying to figure out how we don't end this on such a depressing note. But that is the end of our chapter.
Goodbye.
I've gone like full 180, 270, 360 on this. There was so much up and down with fun things and then sad things and then bad things and then exciting things.
It's a good thing because obviously Jodo was aware that she's dealing with some heavy topics in this. So there has to be a little bit of levity. Like, hey, Scabbers came back. That's a reason to celebrate. He's not actually dead. It's a good thing. But then somebody else's pet straight gets murdered. This is several pets dying in this book. I think we're at 4 actually now, which seems high even for a Hogwarts standard, but maybe we're just not getting the full report.
We have the bunny from Lavender.
Scabbers
died and came back.
but he died.
And then Buckbeak. So
Right?
3?
Yeah.
I think I'm 3. I don't know if there was a 4th. At least 3. At least 3 pets died this year. One of them came back to life.
Trevor was traumatized.
Trevor.
That's right.
3 pets were killed. 1 came back to life, and 1 toad was traumatized.
There's been a lot of pet trauma. So Scabbers not being dead is a win, but that also leads to the chapter being like up, down, fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just about everything we are going to have to say about this chapter.
That's right. If you wanted to let us know what you thought about this chapter or this episode,
That's an
you
aggressive
can send
letter.
an owl to podcastatt@gmail.com, or you can follow us on all of our social medias. If you really enjoyed this episode, you took the ride along with us, and you wanted more like it, you can go to patreon.com/podcastatt and make a pledge. You'll get live episodes. You will get fucking watch-alongs. I'm thinking of the list. We do a lot of stuff over there.
Secret stuff.
Secret stuff.
Behind a paywall.
That's
stuff.
right. I want to thank everybody very, very much for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye.
Here lies Buckbeak, a hippogriff who taught someone a valuable lesson about fucking around and finding out. Unfortunately, the lesson was learned by someone with a rich daddy. So here lies a friend, really. Someone that was there from the beginning, has really kept an important plot point of the book through and kept us interested in what's going on, because otherwise I don't think there would have been enough to fill all these chapters. This one's not as good as the Nimbus one, but I think it's important to give we didn't do one for Scabbers either. Fuck. God damn it. Fucking incendio him, Nate.
Sounds like a fuck you from Daddy.